Hmm.
I'd have to run upstairs to get one of his plates to show you, or one of the plates my wife did. But anyway, it's all in the decorative arts, and we're all in the decorative radios. So, hey,
So is anybody working on any radios right now?
I'm working on a hot water heater.
I'm working on getting my taxes finished up and getting them in.
Oh, done that. Hey, what are you waiting for? It's past the 15th.
Not due till May 17th though, right?
Is it 17th? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the 21st? Oh, so what? Wait a second. Why is it May 17th? Why
They
is there
extended it. They extended it.
Oh,
There we go. So we just got word. I'm not sure if you talked about the COVID stuff there, but we just got word that they're gonna, if we've been vaccinated, that'll be our passport for us to come back to the state. You know, travel interstate and travel back to the state without having to do quarantine anymore. So that's a neat thing.
So that's
Yes.
your passport?
Maybe, but the thing is that every state does it differently. So right now it's just that they'll just accept the Hawaii vaccinations because they're in their records, see, but they're not in a universal kind of database, I don't think yet.
I don't think any of them are on a universal, are they?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think each state has their own. So,
Mhm.
but that'll be nice. So at least I could leave the state if I wanted to and come back.
Instead of having to spend 4 weeks, 2 weeks there and 2 weeks back, right?
Well, I don't know. Now, are they doing quarantine for travelers coming in from out of state now?
I don't know. I don't know what the situation is.
I know Hawaii is though, right? When you
Yeah, they have.
go to
They
Hawaii,
have
you have to, or you have to have a test done before, right?
yeah, you have to have it. Let's see, if you don't have a test, you'd have to go in a mandatory 14-day quarantine. If you came in a flight and weren't pre-tested and by an approved tester and stuff. So.
Yeah, I haven't gone through any roadblocks into Washington yet.
Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on back there. Just get the local news there, and but they finally got to that point, they were talking about that, and they finally, I guess, I think May 11th they start the program. So
in 2006, we went to, my wife and I went to Ukraine for a week to visit our exchange students. We had 2 exchange students from Ukraine. And then we went back to Munich and grabbed my wife's sisters, and we drove Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. And anyway, we went through Liechtenstein, that little bitty country, and they wanted that, their visa stamped, or their passport stamped, but they don't have any of that anymore. You go country to country like we go state to state.
Yeah, because in the EU now, right?
Yeah. Oh, they were pissed. They they wanted their passports stamped with all of this stuff. I got plenty of stamps, but that was long before that, when I was doing international travel for Tektronix. So how's the COVID doing there in Hawaii? Is it?
it's as far as I know, it's been pretty. It's not been as bad as, I guess, as the mainland. I don't. I think. Okay, so the Big Island where I live, Hawaii Island, population, the permanent population is about close to 200,000, and there's been about 2,600, I think, positive since this has started. So that's what, about this little over 1% of the people have tested positive.
Yeah.
And um, 50, I think about 53 people have died from it, and over half of those are from the veterans home where they had a big breakout and stuff like that. You know, that they were, you know, I mean, they're much older, they're in a nursing home on the other side, and they were stuck there, and somebody brought it in and wiped about half the residents out, you know. So yeah, but that was the biggest you know, death in this island anyway. So not too many people have really been that sick here. I don't think there's anybody in the hospital right now, or if there is, it's like one or two. So that's been pretty good.
So today, we almost had 1,000 more cases in Oregon.
1,000 cases?
Yeah.
Just wow.
And what was it? I think there were 8 deaths. I would have to go to my other computer to see that again. But yeah, oh, it's just gone nuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I can look it up on my other computer here pretty easily, I think.
Is it Multnomah County that's gone up a level?
There's a lot of the counties that don't have much population that have gone way up. You know, some of the Republican counties, excuse me, that I don't think they have taken as much care. But yeah, Portland was like 130, or Multnomah County was like 136. Well, let's see if I still got it on my email.
Okay, I just so the total cases are for Hawaii Island. And that's not the state. The state's got, you know, Oahu's got about closer to 1 million people. That's where most of the population is. But Hawaii Island, which is the second most populous county, 2,645. They've got 104 active cases, just one new case, and the death count still stands at 53 from quite, and that's been that way for a long time. So
okay, so the total is 989 new cases and 6 new deaths. So
wow.
by county, out of the biggies, Benton is 24, Clackamas 61, Deschutes is 99, and that's not a very populous county. Jackson is 93, and there's hardly anybody that lives there, I think. Well, Josephine 23, Klamath 34, Lane 82, Lynn 33, Marion 144, that's Salem. Multnomah is 167. Washington County is 134, and all the others are relatively small.
Yeah, so
it's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to be getting done with this shit.
Yeah. Well, I just had my second shot last Friday.
All right.
And I felt crummy for about a day, and then got better. Rick got he got a lot sicker, but not you know, like about 100 degrees. Neighbor lady had the shot same day. She was sick for about a day too. So it's just kind of, you know.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
So was that Pfizer?
Moderna.
Oh, Moderna. Okay.
Yeah. Sore in the arm, you know, and stuff like that. And actually, anything that hurt was like amplified by about 10 dB or something.
Oh.
You know, like I bumped my finger, just like I must have, you know, or my neck was bothering me, and it was just much worse. So, but it's gone. Feel normal now.
Yeah, the only thing I could feel is if I actually, you know, put pressure on my shoulder. I could feel it for a couple of days, but
just looking at the passport thingy here they talked about. So at least 35% of the population has received 1 dose.
I thought it was 50.
This is what it says, at least 35% have had at least one, have received at least one dose is what it says here.
Yeah, I thought I saw 50 here, just
Oh.
50.7 or something like that just recently
Huh.
on the news. What's
So
the
this
date
is
on
from the
that worldwide?
lieutenant governor, and he's actually a physician, so he should know.
Oh, he's talking Hawaii.
Yeah, why?
Okay.
Oregon is 40% is what I see on the statistics here, and 25% are fully vaccinated.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the numbers I heard. But nationwide, it's 50.7% or something.
Really?
like that. Yeah. Mhm. They've got at least one shot.
Oh, at least one shot. Okay, yeah.
And then it was like 33% got the full meal deal.
So we're behind the nation, actually. Not by much, but
And it says 70 to 80% of the people coming to Hawaii County have been vaccinated already. So I guess that's travelers. That's good.
So in 1986 on the Big Island, I was the last car to go on that southern route as the volcano started to spew down.
Oh, you mean down by the park, you mean, or the 86?
1986. That's when things lit up for the first time in a long time.
Well, actually, no, it's been going since Kilauea went continuously from, I think it was 83 is when it started back. I think that's the number I remember is 83, and it went continuously until about 2018 when the plumbing shifted, and then they had the breakout 30 miles away down, which I think it's the same. I think it's like because the lake was full up at the crater,
Right.
and then it drained, and so I think that the plumbing opened up on an old channel underneath, and it ran 30 miles, and then forced and when it came up down in Lalani Estates, I have some friends that live down there.
This was before that.
The old lava popped up first. That was been in the ground for the 30, 60 years or whatever it was. And then the new stuff came up after that, forced it out.
This was earlier than the estates thing.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
when you talk about the road being cut off, there's one in the national park, but
Anyway, we were the last car through where they blocked it off.
yeah.
And we didn't drive that far. And so two of my sons and I, we went up through the jungle to meet the flow. And wow, I mean, we had my sister-in-law's camcorder, one that's got the VCR here and the camera here,
Yeah.
a separate thing. We couldn't shoot it. The IR made the autofocus just go.
Really?
You couldn't get that close to the flow to get hurt because you can't get that close. The infrared just was so powerful, and the flow was so slow. You're not going to get run over, at least at that time.
Yeah, it varies.
And anyway, we were there for about 25 minutes, and then a park ranger kicked our ass out. They found us there. So the next day, then it inundated the Queen's Bath, which I wanted to go to the Queen's Bath, and because it was a rather novel freak of nature, had a lot of animals, fish and stuff that you couldn't find anywhere else in the world, that were adapted to that particular hole in the ground. Were you aware of the Queen's Bath?
I have not been to it, and I don't. And I think there might be another place up north that was also called that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, up North Dakota. So, but I was only about a week or two visitor once in a while during that time period, so. But now, did you ever make it down to, on the south? I mean, on the east coast there, south of Hilo, there was, I forget what they called it, but there was a big pond and it was thermally heated. It's like a giant hot tub, and it does break out to the ocean. And I've been swimming in there, and it'd be like 104 degrees from the volcanic heating of the water.
Perfect.
And that place, and let's see, what was it? Can't think of the name of it, but that was wiped out when this eruption that came out by Linlani Estates and then ran out to the coast. It wiped out 700 homes, beautiful vacation homes in that area just overnight when it finally made it to the coast.
Yeah, I had a high school buddy that lived in there.
Yeah.
And you know what? We haven't heard from him since.
Oh, really?
No.
Nobody I know of, that I know of was ever killed in that or anything. So.
Yeah, but he just totally disappeared off of Facebook ever since that. And I have a picture of his place with 2 cars in the driveway as it's approaching. But anyway.
I have to look at the name. But anyway, so I changed it. One area just really I can't think of the name of it right now, but and the pond that I'm talking about, I guess they call it a pond, but I'm gonna look it up on the map right now. I think
So you're over there. Look up Del Pranky if you can, because he's just been out of the circulation. So his dad had owned Del Pranky Dotson here in Portland.
And is it just so I got a spelling of his name correct? Make sure it's. You say it's Frankie?
Pranky, P-R.
There's P.
I'd have to check on the exact spelling.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on that, Mark.
Yeah.
We're not talking radios anymore. What happened?
No, I know. We haven't been talking radio.
I wanted to thank Lyles for picking up those flowers for Dick Bixler.
Oh, yes.
Thank
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Lyles.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a hell of a deal. God, what a guy. What a guy. He just, he was a big piece of the club, you know, man.
Yeah, I kind of wondered because we hadn't heard from him for a while, and
Yeah.
that's really sad. That heck, a nice guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're all slowing down to an extent. And he was, you know,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's been over a year since we've had a club meeting, so. And he would get in once in a while, but not every meeting. It was a pleasure to see him when he did.
Yeah. Well, we used to see him at the ham swap meets there too. So
Okay.
down at Rick Real and
Yeah, I didn't hit many of those.
Tried to get him to join up, so I had to call him because he never sent his dues in.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was sad. It was sad because when I called him, I didn't have a chance to talk to him. He said he just wasn't up to it.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
When was that, Pat?
Gosh. Probably, I'm gonna guess several months ago, because, you know, after people stop, you know, they don't sign up, then we go after them and, you know. how much.
Sure. Okay.
So,
Yeah, well, we had a freebie, right? Of the
Mhm.
year. Yeah, and maybe George is, I don't know how George is doing. I meant to call, well, I did. I called him, oh, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, but I wasn't able to catch him. I need to try that again.
Well, I know when the last time I was over there, he was having problems with his computer, and I think his son was helping him try to figure it out. But
Oh,
I don't think he gets stuff via the computer email anymore, unless he got that fixed. So
oh, okay. So has he sold most of his stuff off, or is he still in that action?
I think he's still in action because he offered a bunch of stuff for sale last year. I think it was last year, wasn't it? Or is it this year? I forget. And a lot of us went over there, Esbon, Blake, and myself. And then he said after a bit, I think we went back a second time. He said he's got a lot more stuff to sell. And after that, we haven't heard back since.
Okay.
Well, Google hasn't upgraded their maps yet. It's Kapoho is the place. And there's another name they use for it too, but it was just a place that's just full of all these beautiful, vacation homes. And so right at the coast, they had a lot of almost like tide pool kind of, or, and little coves and the like, and that just got wiped out totally.
Yeah.
I think it was about 600-700 homes got wiped out.
Yeah, I drove right by his place and didn't know where he lived there, back in, when was it, when we were there the last time? I don't recall now, but anyway, I wish I knew his address at that point, but too late now.
Yeah, the Champagne Ponds is what they called them.
So the Queen's Bath was one of the Champagne ponds?
I'm not sure about that. I don't see that on here.
It was on the south end there, below the
Oh,
road.
it's kind of a southeast actually. It's
Okay.
I mean, well, where this was anyway. So
I thought this was pretty much directly the south end, but then I might be a little wrong.
yeah,
That's where we got stopped anyway.
yeah. Well, the first year I went to vacation on the Big Island, we had driven through the crater actually, because you used to be able to drive down onto the crater floor and across it. And then I had to kind of, because I talked to the ranger last time I went there was what, a year or two ago, and I said, weren't we used to be able to drive? He says, yeah, this is back, and he gave me the year that was you could drive up until that point, and then it changed, and of course it's all changed now because the crater's about doubled in size, I think, too. So it's totally, it's totally different.
Well, you got the main crater and then you got the active crater, right?
Yeah, well, that's the one that's on the Kilauea, which is just really a little wart on the side of Mauna Loa is really the whole island if you really look at it, and that's that's a different volcano, different plumbing, and but Kilauea is the one that's been going for a long time. What's Pat got there?
Oh, I ran and got my next project, but this is the last one I just finished. I don't know how well you can see it.
Oh, fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I think
Very nice, Pat.
Oh, thanks. I think I showed you guys when I was working on it, but
Yeah.
I got this. It didn't have any molding, but I got this at Home Depot, and I think it's like a 3-foot length, and it the pattern kind of matches the ribbing here on top.
Oh, yeah.
You can kind of see it's kind of like bumpy. And the original molding, there's only one piece left when I got it. It was just kind of, it was smooth with just a little bit of, gingerbread on it. And then I found this piece, so I thought this would look good on it. So it was really inexpensive at, Home Depot, and I think it matches the radio really well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
So what's the brand?
It's a Majestic with the chrome grill.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know the model number. And this is
What's it
I-
got for outputs? Is it 45?
that part didn't get restored.
It got 45s? They like push-pull 45s.
47.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is probably an 80. Yeah, it's got an 80.
Yeah, see, I'd restore the chassis and leave the cabinet
Oh,
go to hell.
I'm not good at that part yet, but yeah, it's only got 5 tubes, and so it's out of 80, 47, and then
Oh, okay.
yeah, whatever other combination. And this is my next project here.
So what type of radio is that from?
This is like a Packard Bell mantle radio.
Yeah.
But this one's kind of bad because it's got some like veneer missing up here.
On the edge, yeah.
And, it's just got a lot of nicks and scratches and dents in the base. So, I'm working on this one and hopefully I'll get her done soon.
Yeah, it's working. It's doing something. It's all.
Can you sand down below the dents?
I think so. I got all the stain removed there and I think I'm gonna have to try to
Walking by out front.
sand those out.
Confused.
Oh, I got an interesting story on this one. I don't remember if I showed it to you, but there was a dent. If you remember, there was a dent over here where somebody dropped it on its edge. And
Uh-huh.
what I did, I think I showed you guys that, but I took a syringe and filled it with water, and then I injected it into the side, and then I steamed it, and it actually puffed up. So I think it's right there.
Excellent.
You can barely tell, but I heard someone tell me that you can inject water into the wood and then use a steam iron to kind of expand the wood back out. And I'll tell you, it worked really good. And right there, you can probably see there's just a little bit of wood filler in there.
So what size syringe did you use?
It's the same kind. Well,
Wake up, Lyles.
I got my coffee.
Yeah.
you can buy these, and I'm not
So that's
sure.
like
what
a
the-
diabetic size, like a 22? Oops.
He froze up. Hey, Pat, you froze up.
Yeah, he did.
So can you,
How's that? I stopped and started. Can you see me?
Yeah.
you're back on.
Okay, it says my internet connection is unstable, but this is the, it's got a small, whoops, this one doesn't have a needle in it, but you can tell I think these are diabetic ones.
Oh, okay.
Probably a 22 then.
Yeah, they're really small, but anyhow, it worked out really good for, injecting water into the wood and then steaming it, and that puffed it out a little bit. So that worked really good.
So you inject first and then steam it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard this. I can't remember where I heard that from. I think Dick Dilschneider said that a long time ago, that you can fix it like that.
I've heard about steaming, but that makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if you can inject wood, see, I was able to inject wood on the side of it and then use a steam iron to like expand the wood, and it worked out pretty good because there was a good sized dent in there. You could easily see it. It's like somebody dropped it on its edge.
So you use like a clothing steam iron or like a cleaning steam iron?
No, it was just a regular laundry clothing steam iron. And then I
Cool.
put a towel over the top of it.
Oh, to keep the moisture in?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you guys are working any other projects?
So it wasn't in direct contact, it was through the towel that you
Right,
steamed
right.
it. Yeah, okay. Cool.
I've been working up at the cabin, getting things ready for my antenna for my ham radio. So that's what I've been working on. So not radios directly, but I got a tower up at the cabin out in Ocean View, and finally it's been shipped at the 6-element log periodic array, which is kind of a neat antenna, and so I'm looking forward to putting that up and getting it on the air.
So you're gonna hook up with mainland there somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can here too, but not as easily. And and I'm in a restricted neighborhood, where you can't put any eyesores up in the sky, So
Okay.
we found a piece of property down in a place called Ocean View, which is down in the south end of the island, where the land is really cheap.
Oh,
And
really
it's
cheap in Hawaii?
what's that? Yes, like you can get 1 acre lots for, of course they're all lava, but for like $4,000 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Well, you got good footing for the tower then.
yeah, actually, it's kind of a lot of it's they call it which is the
Oh,
rock lava, and it's actually real sharp. If you go put your hands on it, you'll cut yourself.
yeah.
And it's
But-
more like just a whole bunch of boulders and rocks kind of everywhere. You remove one and you find a little hole, and then you just keep going, and it's the same thing as you go down. So it's
Yeah, there's nothing really solid.
yeah, kind of. It's just solid because it's so heavy and it's all sitting there.
Yeah.
What's Dawn showing there? Looks like a dial. There you go.
A lit dial.
Yeah.
This is a radio that I got from Pat at the last sale. I just wanted to show Pat it's working.
Same dude helped him win a championship. This is the same dude that just helped turn Alabama's offense into one of the best.
Wow.
Sweet.
He thought it was a battery portable, but it's actually an All-American 5. Didn't you think that it was a battery portable?
Yeah, I thought it was a battery portable.
Yeah, it's actually an All-American 5. It surprised me too, because I thought it was too.
So what's the brand?
It's a Motorola.
Oh, okay.
Motorola. It just has kind of a leatherite here, I'll get type case with a handle on it, and it just has the appearance of a battery portable.
Well, sure.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Works good.
A battery portable to me.
yeah.
So Dawn, what was wrong with it? What'd you replace?
Just the recapping and the usual for All-American 5s. But yeah.
So if you take the back off, there's no place for a battery?
No, it's just a regular All-American 5 plug in, the whole thing. Here. If we got a second, maybe I can get it open.
Hey, I want my radio back now.
Okay, let me get it in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a,
wow.
that's a pretty good glow for batteries.
Yeah, there's the antenna. I'm having a
Yeah,
hard time aiming this thing. Yeah. But
it's
the
like-
other three, do you remember that was a 4-for-1 deal or something?
Yeah, I was trying to.
Yeah, the other three were they're actually battery portables. Yeah.
Well, you gotta
Anyway.
show up Saturday. I can guarantee you there's going to be some inexpensive plastic radios and wood radios there. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I plan to be there.
So what's your brother's
Yeah, I
up?
definitely plan to be there.
So what's your brother up to, Don? Are you gonna get him to join?
He's having fun in retirement or semi-retirement.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
he
what
gets.
most- Isn't that what most of us are doing?
Yeah. He can't quite get things together enough to join the radio club though. I think his wife won't let him take anything home.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
the
know
big
how that
problem.
I know how that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked with his brother at Tech.
Hmm.
So wasn't somebody going to do a tech talk today?
I don't think we had one scheduled,
Huh, okay.
or at least not that I remember.
Weren't you going to do one, Bruce?
No?
Next week, right, Bruce?
No, mine today was on Hawaii, I think.
I think so. I think our little thing was Hawaii and COVID.
Yeah.
8338 Rocket or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket Mortgage, oh boy.
Everyone needs to sit down this year. Bring your mask.
You need to turn it down, Don.
I can mute him.
Yeah, it looks like he maybe moved away from the.
You want me to mute him?
Yeah, go ahead and mute him.
He can unmute himself.
Oh, there he is.
I
Don
did
has
it.
left the building.
I did it. I left him. I'm guilty. I hate doing that, but
Yeah, well, sometimes we just forget, you know.
yeah, exactly.
And the
Just a
phone
little
rings
reminder.
and you end up chatting on the phone and carrying on,
Yep.
and you're not looking at the screen and people are waving like, shut up.
Hey, Lyles, weren't you going to show us a battery set?
Hey, Pat, could you tell us about the auction that's happened on Saturday?
On the auction, all right. What happens is we're going to start an auction at 9 a.m. Saturday morning. This is the items.
Oh,
He froze.
Sure you didn't fall asleep.
We're going to try to do a preview on Friday because they're going to set up on Friday, from what I
All right.
understand.
It will be or won't be.
so the items are confidential.
No, we want the items to everyone,
Well, you've got,
trying to get people to come to this. You know, I was trying to get people to pre-register for bidder passes in case, you know, we get COVID restrictions and we have to cut the numbers down. And I got one person that says, oh, I'll take a bidder number. So anyhow, Dave, to give back to that, there's, I don't know, about 20 items from Jorgensen Estate, and those are kind of lower end items. A lot of the metal battery or metal radios and, those metal cans. A lot of chassis with no cabinets. I think there's a radio, a 3, and I don't know, a early Crosley battery set and stuff like that. And then we got the Don Hunker Estate, and I've got 56 items pictured and in a spreadsheet, and Dan Howard has got the rest. He's actually got the better stuff because he had a nicer, more secure way of carrying stuff. So he got all the nice radios, both wood and plastics, nice speakers, and then of course a bunch of other stuff. John Livingston also helped out, and he got a lot of parts and stuff like that. So Dan and his father came over here and went through 20 boxes of tubes and separated them into
Oh my gosh.
miniatures, octals, loctals, and pre-octal tubes. I just call those early ones. And now there's 17 boxes or 17 lots of tubes, and there's some good radios in there. Dave, haven't you seen some of the emails that have been sent out?
Oh gosh, I might have, I don't know, Pat. Of all the things I've lost, it's my mind I miss the most,
Yeah. Well, we're hoping that a lot of people will show up to the auction so we can make sure that, the Hunker Estate gets something for their stuff. And there's some good items out there. There's a lot of tubes, and there's a lot, and they're radio value tubes, and there's a lot of radio valued capacitors, filter capacitors, and resistors. And of course, there's test equipment, et cetera, et cetera. So like I say, it starts 9 a.m. Saturday morning. We're going to start setting up 8 a.m. on Saturday, and then we're going to also load up all the stuff and drop it off there Friday evening. But we're not sure the time because Esteban's still working. He doesn't know what time we'll get off. He'll get off work, but as soon as we know, then I'll send out, to the people who wanted to show up and help.
So the one item I was interested in was that transoceanic radio.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know. Is that the one to get or are they all basically the same, or I don't know anything about these things.
No,
So,
there's a lot of different ones.
Yeah, a lot of different versions over the years.
but are they
Different
basically
dials.
but is it all cosmetic, or is it basically functionally the same?
No,
or-
different cosmetic, there's like different selectors, different things like that. The one you get is the one with the airplane or the sailboat on it, right? I mean, that's the big one everybody wants that I know of, that have it printed on the speaker.
Don't those radios have the 1L6 converter in them also?
Yeah, they do.
Well, that's the later ones, right? The earlier ones had something else, I think.
Selenium rectifier.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the earlier ones had a little larger tubes. It was the later ones that had the miniatures of the 1L6, which is hard to find.
Well, didn't they have loctals and octals? And
Yeah,
then
on the earlier ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone know the model number of the one we have up for auction?
I was just looking at that. Let me see if I can find it. Literally, I just literally had that open.
Pat, do you know if that's an Oldsmobile radio that in that radio set, the one with the white case?
6A40. 6 Apple 40.
That's a
It's in
very
the white
early,
case,
the white, yeah, the white case radio, like the white underneath it, square.
Oh,
car
number-
radio.
lot number, was it 29?
Yeah, I think so. There's a bunch of car radios in there, but one of them is a white box that underneath it. Do you know if that's an Oldsmobile?
No, I'm not sure. Oh, crap.
I don't know that any of them were labeled, were they?
Yeah,
I think
this one,
Gina-
I think this one is a Buick, but I forgot. You want to know if it was an Oldsmobile? I believe it's
Yeah.
a Buick, which
Okay.
I guess is GM.
Yeah,
Why, do you need
Oldsmobile.
one for an Oldsmobile?
No, I don't need one, but I've always looked for those, that kind of radios.
With
Those
the-
are neat. They're all independent units. They were put in by dealers.
Oh, really? They're
Mhm.
add-ons.
Yep.
I'll be darned.
Well, you know, the heater was optional back in
Yeah,
the
exactly.
50s. Now you can't get a car without air conditioning.
You can't get a car without power windows,
No.
Right.
or
I
you
told-
can't get a self-driving car now anyway.
So we actually had our car, somebody ran into it like, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago. And we had to take it to the shop and they said, well, we'll give you this loaner. I said, oh, great. And I get in there and the kid said, what's that? It was a roll-up window, manual roll-up, and they didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Well, Franklin, you got to make sure to bid on number 29. Then
29.
there's other radios in the lot though that are self-contained. I think there's one in lot 33, and I think 30 has got some. I don't know what happened, but I didn't take a picture of 31, which is all the Chevy radios. But none of those are. They're like the 60s and 70s. They don't have speakers with them.
So GM had probably Buick and Oldsmobile that had what they call the Wonder Bar. You push on and it
Yeah.
auto-seeked the next station.
Yeah, like the Chrysler.
Yeah.
The Chrysler version had the Wonder Bar too.
Yeah, they didn't call it the Wonder Bar though. They called it something else. I don't recall what it was. So who made those? Was that Philco at the time? Oh, probably not. Probably not for GM, would it?
Oh, that'd be for Ford, right?
Yeah. Well,
I
at least
think
they bought 'em at some
Delco.
point.
Delco, yeah.
Delco.
Yeah. I think Chrysler had a lot of Philcos too.
They did.
Yeah, before it really became Philco Ford.
So Dave, are you going to show up and bid on some stuff?
I'm playing with the idea back and forth. I still haven't got my second COVID shot yet. So, like I said, my mother-in-law's got accelerated dementia, so my wife has got to spend a lot of time with her.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so it's kind of like we have to be super careful because she's got to be able to just jump over there in a moment's notice,
Yep.
And so we have to be, even though she has her shots now, my wife doesn't have her second shot, and she can't afford to either give it to grandma or get sick herself.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Better to be safe.
no, and that's just it. It's got to be a really compelling reason
Mhm.
for me to come. So, but I am getting pretty tired of just this whole sticking around home thing too.
You got that
I
right.
think we all are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had mine second shot here 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the wife passed her second week, so we're feeling a little easier. And we're going to have birthday parties Saturday.
Oh, really? Whose birthday party?
I was on the 20th. I celebrated by getting a colonoscopy.
Nice.
Yeah. And my sister-in-law is on the 20th and my granddaughter is the 22nd
Oh,
tomorrow. So we're gonna have a big thing going on. And it doesn't look like the weather's gonna hold up for Saturday, so it won't be quite as distanced as we had anticipated.
it's gonna be raining, right? It's supposed to be.
It was supposed to be raining on Saturday, definitely.
Mhm.
Well, I thought Sunday was definite and Saturday was in the afternoon, but that may have changed since I last saw the air.
Rain's coming in Friday night.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Okay, they moved it up. Well, we'll work on it.
How many people can you get on the bottom floor with you if everybody stays 6 feet apart?
Oh God, it can't be more than 20, right?
Yeah.
How many?
I don't think it could be more than 20 people.
That's what I'm thinking. Not that
I
many.
think 25 is the limit, right? Period.
Mhm. I believe so. I believe the limit we have is 25.
That's tough for an auction,
Yeah,
for sure.
especially when one of them's an auctioneer and the other one's holding it up. You know, you know,
That's 23. And you got me there as a cameraman. That's
yeah.
22.
Yeah, if you could have it outside, that'd be better, but wow. Doesn't sound like a good shot at that.
You never know in Oregon, though, right?
So what happens if 50 people show up?
We'll have to rotate them in and out.
Wow.
Well, actually, Dan Howard has come up with this brilliant plan on how to handle that. And basically, he's got this 4-stage process that we can handle that many people. Basically, we have, well, I don't want to bore you, but trust me, it's been figured out. He's got this great way of doing it. It basically means that you can only go in one end of the building and out the other. And then we're going to have people outside, and we're going to take one item, wheel it out there, and let people bid on it. And then we, number it and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we have a plan. Dan's figured it out, and I looked at it and proved it. I think we can go. I just told him, I just hope we don't have to use it with, 26 to 50 people.
Okay, so you bid on an item and you get it and you get kicked out.
Only
Well,
one item per person.
no, you would bid on it. It's somebody's going to hold it up. The auctioneer's going to talk about it. Then they're going to take bids from the crowd, which could be, part in and part outside. And then when that's done, then we'll put the bidder number and the price on it. Ed will record it. And then it'll get set over to the staging area, or not staging, but the holding area. And then when everything's done, you go up and pay for your items and, take off. So yeah, we can do it.
So you need a camera and a big screen outside.
Over the internet, right?
Well,
Let everybody do their little cell phones.
they're gonna have to do like the Vanna White thing. They're just gonna have to parade around.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I'm not anticipating 50 people. I think we'll be lucky to have 25.
Okay. But you got what? 50 items to get rid of?
No, there's gonna be, I have 56. Dan Howard has 40 to 50, and then the Jorgen Estate is another 20, I think.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
So you have 150 there, 120 or something like that.
It's $1 a piece for everybody.
Yeah, there's probably 100 items. Because we can group some of the stuff together. The tubes we may have to group. There's books and magazines, we could group those. Some of the radios, we could start grouping if we had to.
Well, good luck. Gosh, what a,
Yeah, I hope I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
mhm.
Do you have a tent for outside? One of those 10 by 10s?
We have 2 10 by 10s.
Okay. Those are gonna get set up.
Uh,
So they're saying 82% chance right now.
well, yeah, that's only if we have to go outside with the auctions. Okay, good point. Maybe I'll have to write an email to Mike McCrow, because he's coming Saturday morning to see if he could bring them with him.
Because some people, maybe they want to, of course, stand under them, and then you're gonna have to kind of shelter their bringing in and out, maybe the items.
Yeah.
It'd help if you had some covering. Especially if they're state in rain all day, so.
Yeah, I got it.
Weather.
My weather station says I got a 90% chance at home here.
Oh, well,
I'm at
91,
1,000.
92, 80.
Yeah. It's still a large
77
number.
degrees, 76, whatever.
So Lyles, are you going?
Yeah, am I going to the auction?
Yeah.
No, the rain's gonna keep me away, I think. The rain and COVID-19.
Okay, yeah. That's good enough.
You can write a song named that.
Did the Beatles write something like that?
The rain and COVID-19 keeping me away.
Well, I don't see how you're gonna get very many people in the basement of the Grange.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying tents. You know, that'll help. There's somewhere. That somebody can sit in their car and run in onto their tent. I don't know.
So we miss you at the museum there, Lyles.
What?
We miss you at the museum.
I could come to the museum, but and now, is someone gonna be there on Saturday? Or we're not having consistent hours though, are we?
Bob's there 10 to 2, I think, on Saturday.
On Saturday? How's my workspace looking?
Oh, it's
Is it
it's
full?
a mess.
It's full?
Yeah, it's a mess.
Well, that's not a surprise.
Yeah. I'm there 10 to 2 on Mondays. And
What
I
do you
mean,
do? What do you do at the place there, Bruce? What sort of?
I repair stuff to put on display
Oh, really?
and to sell. And, you know, we have, in some cases, a fair number of duplicates. And so we repair those and put them up on eBay. And that gives us money for the museum operating budgets. And granted, we don't have too much there because Tektronix is real generous with their square footage that we're using. But, you know, you got internet and all that kind of stuff, insurance and da-da-da-da. It goes on and on. But anyway, I've been working pretty much in isolation there. You know, the stuff I get up and running, that's fun, but I do miss the BS. But we do have a Zoom meeting on Wednesday where we get business done and also accomplish a little BS, you know. But yeah, we've had some visitors by appointment, but we've been pretty careful to keep that down. I think that's going to increase here in the near future. In fact, we'll be talking about that this Friday.
So just out of curiosity, I've got like 2 tech scopes. I got 2 475s, and I plug them in, I turn them on. One, I don't know if it's quite right, but it's, you know, there's a trace and it works kind of. So that's better than not. And then the other one I think is working pretty good. But if I brought one of those down, could I plop myself down there and then learn how to fix one?
And not at this point, anyway. We're going to have to go a little further here through the COVID bullshit. But yes, in the near future, you should be able to do that.
I'm going to get my second shot on the 5th of May. And then, you know, over a 3-week, you know, period after that, I'll be.
We're looking at letting this settle down for another couple of months anyway.
Sure, July or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
June, July.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
What I do at the museum is when we get parts donated to us, I stock the parts into a parts bin so that people like Bruce that are working on instruments can find parts quick and easy. And I have I keep stock, you know, I stock all of the official tech part numbers, and then we have other electronic components too that aren't tech part numbered, and I have those in a case also, in a cabinet. That's a better word than a case. And so that's what I do.
That's super helpful because, you know, when we're working on an instrument and, oh, I need this transistor, I can just walk over to his stuff there, pull out the drawer on the cabinet and go down the numbers, and there it is, grab it and replace it.
Cool.
You know, it's kind of like The other option is, you know, you got a box of resistors, just a messy box of resistors. Okay, now you're looking for the right resistor.
The two orange 330 ohms or something like that.
But no, you just go to this cabinet and you go down here, there it is, you know, all in sequence and nice and handy.
I also have like a Fluke 4200. It's a AC calibrator,
Uh-huh.
and it's close. It's close to being good, but you know, I just don't have the real test equipment to even test it out. I don't know if I could bring something like that down eventually.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the damn thing weighs 125 pounds. It weighs about as much as my wife, you know, so it's you know, it's,
Yeah,
but is it?
those were precision instruments.
I'd love to get an amplifier for that. One of the ones that, you know, that allows you to go up to 1,000 volts.
Mm.
You can run a megahertz, 1,000 volts, peak to peak. Can you imagine that?
So this is a sine wave generator, or what
It's
is
a AC calibrator.
AC
So
calibrator? Okay.
yeah, so you can so it is like a sine wave generator, and it allows you to modify frequency as well as voltage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it's like, you know, like I have like a little, you know, like an Agilent 34401, just a nice, you know, anyways, I use that for setting it, and then when it comes around to like calibrating like worked on like a Fluke meter I had, and they say, you know, run this many volts at this frequency, and you adjust this pot to get it, you know, to be right. So you can adjust your AC elements on your meters that way.
Okay.
But anyways, I'd love to get an amplifier for that if one ever shows up, and then that way I could actually have the ability to calibrate people's meters.
High voltage probes, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's one of those cool pieces of test equipment.
Yeah, well, it keeps the bench weighted down.
Keeps place warm. So yeah, it draws like, I don't know, 15 amps or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so during the COVID, I brought the vertical amplifiers home for a 517. Anyway, it's a distributed amplifier, many tubes and coils and stuff. And anyway, it had a shitload of capacitors that needed changing. And there were like 50 microfarad 3-volt capacitors on all these cathodes of these tubes. So there's 50 tubes in the vertical amplifier.
Crap.
So anyway, this was sold in 1951. The only way to get 50 megahertz, but it was brute force. 103 vacuum tubes and 1,250 watts, which is about equivalent to a space heater.
Yeah.
Bruce, is that a 517?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruce, I never asked you, how long do you work at Tech?
37 years.
37. Okay. But not, you weren't there in the real early days then, though, were you?
No.
Okay.
I started, well, I did a couple of summers, and then I started in '69 after I got out of the Army. And then in 2000, Xerox bought the color printer division out. And let's see, that didn't quite work. Anyway, they got a bunch of my previous time there part-time added on. But Xerox bought the color printer division in 2000, and I ended up there for 6 years, retired. Then they brought me back to do some R&D. They wanted me full-time, and I said, no, I kind of like this retirement. So I was doing 2 days a week for a number of years. And then Ursula Burns, the CEO of Xerox, wasn't enamored with the solid ink printer. And so she started laying people off, and I was still working there. And then two of the Mucky Mucks ended up selling the solid ink printer division then to 3D Systems, which is a 3D printer company. Well, what's 3D? Well, you just keep printing stack after stack, you know?
Right.
And so it was a pretty good fit. And solid ink was, you know, it was wax. And so you could make wax figures by just keep going. And then I started using other things through the printer head to, you know, use plastics and such.
Mhm.
Anyway, it was fun.
I didn't know Xerox sold their printer division.
What's that?
I didn't know that Xerox sold their printer division.
No, they have not, just the solid ink printer division.
Okay. I didn't know Xerox had anything but the solid ink. You know,
Oh, yeah.
where they.
Yeah, they got laser,
Mhm.
and
That's right.
and then they moved to inkjet.
Mhm.
They started working on inkjet, and then they canceled that and went with the solid ink that Tektronix developed. And they bought OEM engines from Fuji Xerox for their lasers. And then they used Oki Data and a few other laser engines to fill out their, you know, their different requirements.
So all that solid, all of Xerox solid ink was from Tektronix then?
Oh yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, they developed that in the 90s.
Because they kind of made it popular, didn't they? I mean,
Oh yeah.
they made it much more popular than Tektronix did. Huh?
No, Tech really made it popular.
Oh, did they really? Okay,
Yeah.
because I've only known of the Xerox solid ink.
Oh, okay. Brothers, they had solid ink, but they never went very far with that. Another company.
Was it a different system?
They had different types of heads. I don't recall what the absolute difference is, but the Tech system was so much faster and better. Initially, they came out with the Phaser 3, which squirted directly on the paper. And then they ran it through a roller to squeeze the ink harder onto the paper. And then they went to the Transfix, in which they had a spinning stainless steel roller that they would print on, and then they'd run the paper through against that stainless steel roller with another roller behind it to transfer the ink then onto the paper. And when you get into all of this, it requires like 13 different heaters, electric heaters, to make all of this function correctly and do a good job of transferring that ink at the proper temperature. In other words, you don't want it solid when you transfer it. You want it, you know, to be able to squeeze it on nice and cleanly. And the big thing was that you could print on anything. You could basically print on toilet paper. Try that with an inkjet. Well, it just bleeds all over, you know, but with the solid ink, you're kind of contained. And the solid ink is basically, you can see through the wax and it reflects then back off onto the paper. So you're getting really a kind of a 2-pass filter through that ink to give you your saturated colors. There's a myriad of things when you start talking about the physics of all this, but it really puts out a very, very nice print. And when my wife was really busy into this painting seminars and stuff, I printed all her instructions and stuff on the solid ink printer because it was so much better than you could possibly get off of a laser printer. We have a laser printer too, but boy, when you print on both of those, there's a huge difference.
It's got to heat up that paper though, right? Like a laser printer does. Right?
It goes through a paper preheater. Yeah,
Oh,
in its path. That's one of the heaters. You got a drum heater. You got reservoir heaters because you got 4 different waxes. You've got a main head heater and or reservoir heaters and jet stack heaters. It all gets pretty complicated, but once you get down to it, it does a fabulous job. Anyway, Xerox got out of it then after they bought it for just under $1 billion from Tech in 2000, which was almost half of the company.
Whoa.
And one of the things is that, you know, the printers would do good and the scopes weren't doing so good. You know, you're diversified, but Tech got out of that diversification. They sold all their periphery products that weren't solely oscilloscopes.
Well, they just basically outsource their stuff now, right? A lot of their scopes are made by like Rigol and.
No, they're all still, Tektronix has control over making those in China.
Yeah. Most of them are built in China now.
Yeah. This high-end stuff, the real high-end stuff, you still have to do that here because that's under export control. You don't want the Chinese to have the technology. Although they're developing their own, so.
Yeah.
So anyway, I go into the museum and all these big parking lots are just virtually empty. It's amazing.
Oh, at Tech, you mean?
Yeah, Tech.
Well, I thought they were anyway, though. Weren't there's not that many employees like there used to be, is there?
Oh, no, there isn't. But with the COVID, there's some manufacturing that's going on. And so there's a few cars for that, but boy, all the engineering, everybody's at home,
Wow.
working at home.
That's where I've been.
Mhm.
well, traffic's getting bad.
Yeah, I
Are people-
found out after my colonoscopy, I'm coming back and, oh God, 217's all plugged up.
Well, you weren't driving after
Yes,
that.
I was. Yes, I was, because I went cold turkey.
Oh, oh.
Oh, I like to watch the movie and talk to the doctor.
Yeah, right.
What's that there?
Okay.
No, I just do the drugs and fall asleep. Have a great nap.
Yeah.
No, it was, I don't know, my first colonoscopy. Yeah, I took the sedation. The second one, I had to go make some decisions that day. And so I said, I'll pass. Well, what if we can't get through this? So anyway, they put a tap in my arm in case I couldn't make it. And I decided all that shit before the colonoscopy is much worse than the colonoscopy itself.
I did that with my eye surgery. I had cataract surgery, and I just said, I don't need the anesthesia. Just do it. And they just did it, and it was no big deal.
Okay.
Other than I could watch him pushing on my eye, and see my eye move around. It was kind of weird. And then it was like everything was blurry when they sucked out the lens. Everything got really blurry, just like totally just white. And then flops the lens in there, it pops open. They'd roll it up like a Tootsie Roll, stick it in there, and then let it unroll. And when it unrolls, you can see the LED lights that are shining in your face.
I'll be damned.
It's amazing.
Well, I saw the LED lights, they were shining up my ass.
That's a little more invasive, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's not totally comfortable, but you
Yeah,
know,
I'd say it was, because I've been under sedation doing that, and I remember waking up a little bit because a little bit of a pain or something, and then you fall back asleep and
oh, okay.
don't forget.
And the guy kind of, the extra guy, well, he did some of the snipping, but he wrapped his arm around my belly and pushed on one side when they're, you know, they got to get that hose clear up and back down
Oh, yeah.
through the whole path and up through the top, that they got to get it around the corner. And so he pushed on my belly to kind of help that go through there. But so anyway, I watched him snip one polyp off and I'm good. I haven't heard anything back on the polyp. And then they took a couple, well, 3 little snips in there, samples of the intestine that they do some tests on to, I don't know what they're coming back with on that, but they're gonna look at things. Anyway, I had my dad died at 76 and I'm 77 with because of colon cancer.
Mhm.
So they've been watching me a little more carefully.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my birthday present.
Sounds like a
Did you
fun
get-
time.
Probably about the last one you do, huh? So,
I think so. Because if anything shows up in another 10 years, it's not probably going to progress that far for the next 10 years. So
Did you get 2 pieces of cake afterwards?
no, I didn't. I didn't even get any coffee. I thought, geez,
Oh my gosh.
you know, I've been a day with just a liquid diet and then a morning with nothing other than the prep for this. You know, they do it in 2 preps.
Yeah.
6 o'clock at night, you
oh
start,
yeah.
you start your procedure, and then the next morning you take it again. And by then your ass is so sore from wiping, you want to scream. How'd we get off of radios there?
Somebody say something. We don't want to end it on that.
Yeah.
I would really like to learn how to do more extensive type of repair work
Mhm.
on some of these instruments. I just basically, if you're self-taught, you know, what do? You have the opportunity to go look at Mr. Carlson on YouTube, but there's not a lot of real.
Yeah, he's a good shot, you know?
Yeah, I've watched some of his things. He's pretty sharp guy.
I think he is.
Mhm.
How's your lathe?
My lathe is doing just fine. I'm working on I bought a milling machine, so I'm working on that right now. It's
that's
slow. I'm working real slow. I got the VFD mounted and I got figured out how to rewire it. So that's good. I've got some other things. I've done a little bit of repair here and there, but it should be working by the end of this. I had to buy a potentiometer, a 10K ohm potentiometer, 2 watt. But I bought a Allen Bradley because it's sealed, you know.
Mhm.
And I was actually thinking about going out and asking the group if they'd have anything like that, but I doubt if anybody would have an industrial potentiometer like that. But
Tektronix is full of them.
are you serious?
Oh, yeah. All the old Tektronix stuff, they've got the sealed Allen Bradleys. Yeah.
Really?
Ah.
I probably have some right here.
I didn't even think about it. I bought mine off of eBay, you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So the rest of the control equipment on that's all Allen Bradley. So I bought an Allen Bradley VFD and I bought an Allen Bradley pot, and I had to get the control wire, 18 gauge control wire that's got the shielding on it. So all that sort of stuff. I just ended up.
So what kind of year is this?
The milling machine was made in '67.
Okay.
It's a Hardinge TM. Actually was bought by Tektronix. It's got the Tektronix tag on it.
Okay, yeah.
And Tektronix sold it to the machinist that used to run it.
Hmm.
Machinist sold it to a guy in Brownsville, Oregon. And then I bought it from the guy in Brownsville, Oregon. So it's probably, within 4 miles of where it was originally, So
Yeah.
it's a nice mill. So
Yeah, I've worked for Bernie Vansel, who he makes esoteric stuff for NASA, Department of Defense, and Xerox PARC, and strange places. But he still makes vacuum tubes. And
I met him.
oh, okay.
I sold him a power supply.
He's making vacuum tubes, you say?
Clystrons.
Hmm. Yeah, traveling wave tubes,
Okay.
all kinds of stuff. My last project with him, well, he's in a barn, basically. Kick the chickens out of the way to go into the barn with all this vacuum tube equipment and stuff and esoteric test equipment. But the last project I was working on is a 37 gigahertz traveling wave tube, just a little bitty guy, to go up into these cube satellites. And the cube satellites are just these little bitty jobs that,
Is that stuff like for Tesla
no,
or?
no, it's not for Tesla. This
Okay.
is for Department of Defense.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And I think it's for finding enemy satellites to do something with them someday. I don't know. But it's radar, 37 gigahertz radar.
Yeah.
But anyway, he does interesting stuff there.
I would love to go out and see his place.
Well, at one time here, 3 years ago, I set up a team to go out there, and anyway, he gave a great presentation there. There was about, I don't know, 16 of us. And anyway, he talked about his cathodes and some other stuff. Basically, he has also done research in cathodes, that emit electrons, and they're using that for ion propulsion for satellites.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so rather than carrying a heavy load of fuel,
Right.
You've got a solar panel that you get electricity, and so then you make an ion engine that more efficiently holds your satellite. It doesn't have a lot of thrust, but you need to hold it in position.
Right.
And so you don't need any big.
No, you just need, yeah, right.
And so,
And it's exponential too, right? It just keeps going faster and faster, right?
well, in the case that they're using here, it's just to keep it in position.
Yeah.
Oh,
For the geostationary orbit
Yeah.
of your.
Synchronous orbit, yeah.
But what you're talking about there on the speed is that the electrons or the particles emit out so fast
Right.
that it takes it takes a very long time to actually reach that speed. So that's where the speed buildup is that the particles or the emission out of the ion engine is so fast, but the thrust is so low, it takes a long time to get there, you might say. But that's your limiting, I guess, is the speed of the thrust, so to speak. So
F equals mass times acceleration squared,
MA, yeah.
or mv squared, excuse me.
1/2 mv squared, yeah.
Yeah. So with the plasma, you're injecting it at very high speeds.
I'd love to go out there and see that. I sold him a 5,000 volt power supply. I bought it in an auction. I said, well, now what am I going to do with this? And I think, Bruce, you're the one who told me to contact this guy. And
Could be.
yeah, and he came over and said, yeah, I'll buy it. And that was another one of those weighs more than my wife pieces of equipment I picked up at that auction.
Well, we're next door to the country store there at Tech. And anyway, I would occasionally go over there, especially when they were open the same day we were. We thought being open the same day would bring a draw in, you know. Psst, nah. So we switched back to Fridays and Saturdays. But anyway, I'd occasionally get over there and take a look at what they had. Anyway, I'd say, hey, Bernie, they got this or that. He says, can you buy it for me quick? You know?
So what do they have at that tech store? Do they actually sell surplus equipment there? Or?
Yeah, surplus equipment, coax cables, BNC, T's and connectors and
Oh, really?
high frequency stuff, SMA cables, SMB cables, solid coax, you know, the little solid stuff you run around in microwave, spectrum analyzers, tools, you know, from pliers to you name it.
Wire strippers and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce, what kind of hours are they keeping these days?
None.
You mean they're not open at all?
No.
Oh, okay. That's not a surprise.
Yeah, they haven't been open since March of last year. I'll let you know when they open.
I'd like to go over there.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I should probably help my daughter. She's going to be looking for a job, and I'm helping her pose questions, make up questions for her. She's talking to a nurse tomorrow, so she's going to graduate in May of this year with her degree in nursing. So she's looking for what they call
All right.
residency program.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah. So going to help her with
So did you get involved with giving shots with the COVID?
She did.
Uh-huh.
She did.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Apparently that's, one of those, that's, yeah, she's
Kind of a volunteer.
yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty neat to see your kids get to the point where they can get a job and,
Oh, yeah.
be independent and all sorts of stuff.
Mhm.
Anyways, so I should probably go and help her. So,
All right. Good enough.
yep.
Good
Have a,
talking to you.
have a good evening.
I think I'm going to sign off too.
I think it's time to me too.
I think I'll sign off too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see all you guys.
Saturday.
Well, darn.
Friday
Okay.
evening?
I won't see you Saturday, but
All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks
See ya.
for setting it up, Franklin.
yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Night. Good.
Then there was Christian. Are you still there?